Thank you all for being here. Next, I'd like to invite up Sarah Smith and Walter Stewart, please, for You okay? Okay, awesome. This is ASTM Manual 36 Day. Whereas the NASA White Sands Test Facility in Las Cruces has been part of our community since 1963, and whereas the personnel of the Laboratories Department of White Sands Test Facility are world-renowned experts in the area of oxygen safety for space, aircraft, medical, and industrial applications. And whereas fire and oxygen systems have resulted in injuries and deaths of astronauts, emergency medical personnel, firefighters, and patients. And whereas the understanding of ignition of fire risks in oxygen systems is crucial to preventing further injuries and deaths. And whereas the White Sands Test Facility engineers and scientists Sarah Smith, Walter Stewart, and Harold Beeson authored ASTM, American Society for Testing Materials, Manual 36, Safe Use of Oxygen and Oxygen Systems, Handbook for Design, Operation, and Maintenance. And whereas ASTM Manual 36 has become the agency-wide training manual for oxygen safety for all of NASA and across the United States. And whereas ASTM Manual 36 is being used to design safe life support systems for medical patients, spacecraft, and aircraft personnel. And whereas ASTM International recently awarded the Charles P. Dudley Medal to Sarah Smith, Walter Stewart, and Harold Beeson, citing the book's impact within NASA. And whereas the City of Las Cruces wishes to recognize the contributions of our community members to safe use of oxygen in spaceflight, healthcare, aircraft, and industry. Now, therefore, we, the Mayor and City Council of Las Cruces of New Mexico, do hereby proclaim November 18th, 2024 as ASTM Manual 36 Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We wrote this book nearly 18 years ago to help people use oxygen safely. We all need oxygen to live, so it is used for life support in space as well as on the ground for medical patients, submarine crews, scuba divers. Oxygen is used to help rockets take off. It is used in welding. It's even used in glass blowing. Oxygen itself is not flammable, but it helps other things burn really well. So when there is extra oxygen, even metals can burn. Devastating fires have resulted in the deaths of astronauts, firefighters, scuba divers, patients, welders, soldiers, and others. At NASA White Sands Test Facility, we sought to understand the causes of oxygen fires so we could save lives and prevent destruction. We tested materials and equipment to learn how oxygen fires occurred, developed standards to help others avoid oxygen fires, and taught across the USA and internationally to help more people learn how to manage the risks. The work is still ongoing now, as there is always more to learn. Writing a book was no small task, but we knew the work was important to save lives. I remember vividly those last few weeks of writing the manual. I was pregnant with my daughter and nearing her due date, but I had this one big project that I had to complete before she could come. I worked feverishly those last few weeks to complete the draft of the book, and we finished it shortly before my daughter was born. Within a few years after that, I left NASA to focus on my next big project of raising and homeschooling my kids. Life has many twists and turns, and I never would have guessed that now I'd be a natural healthcare practitioner, a risk management trainer for raw milk farmers, and an advocate for a safer, thriving community here in Las Cruces. Nonetheless, over the last couple of decades, I've been gratified to know that Manual 36 is continuing to help people manage the risk of oxygen fire hazards in space flight, healthcare, industry, and elsewhere. So many things that we do in life come with risks. Instead of giving in to fear, we can look squarely at the problems, research and assess to understand what drives the risk, and then put that knowledge to use with purposeful risk management. In this way, fear can't stop us, and we can instead go on to do great things. Thank you.